Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So it's been about a month since I graduated and started my new job, and I know that there's some of you who kind of follow me for that psychology part, so I wanted to kind of film an update on the job and what I'm doing, how's it going, all of that. So let's get into the rest of the video. So for those of you who haven't heard, I graduated graduate school in December, so I now have my master's of clinical psychology from Pepperdine University. And I actually ended up staying at the organization in which I did my practicum internship at. And my official role is a volunteer coordinator for a grief camp. So the camp helps families, mainly like youth, deal with some sort of homicide related trauma. And there's like one big event during the year that I plan for and coordinate everything that pretty much goes into that. And then for the rest of the year, there's also other quarterly events and group therapy type things that go on. So I still kind of feel like I'm settling into the job a bit. Luckily, the person who was in this role before stayed at the company and just transferred to a different position. So I think it's going to be kind of like a gradual process. So up until this point, I've done just like a lot of trainings, things that I've had to like renew since starting my internship. And then it's mainly been a lot of research. Like I've started creating a training on like grief for the staff and researching a lot of possible events and like things to bring to the camp, things that might be useful to do at the camp. A lot of like meeting with people to talk about things and exchanging ideas and all of that. On top of that, I have been still seeing a few of my clients that were that I had during my internship. I just kind of continued seeing them, and I probably will get some more clients too. I'm definitely not going to do a full-time caseload because this like volunteer coordinator position is my full role, but I still want the opportunity to pursue licensure. And as I said before, this position does entail doing therapy alongside of it, but I'm also keeping a few like clients that are unrelated to the camp part of it. And in some ways, it feels like my life hasn't changed significantly since being done with school, especially because I was still doing the internship. I was still seeing clients. That really hasn't changed. It was a lot of projects and research in my graduate program, and I'm still kind of doing a lot of that now. However, I would say that I enjoy it a lot more now, because I think before I was just so focused on like, okay, get it done by this due date and you're being graded on it. So it almost like, it gave me more anxiety of, I don't know, like I just wasn't focusing on it for the right reasons. Like I wasn't actually focusing on it to learn. I was just like, I gotta get this done. Where now I feel like I have more time to really like dig into something and retain the information, and then also being able to like talk about it with other people, I think really helps my learning process. Another thing is I feel like I just have more time to enjoy my life outside of work, which is funny because I remember that being something I was a little nervous about when starting a full-time job, because I've never really worked full-time before aside from nannying. And then when you're nannying, you're still like going out and doing things. Like part of my job was like taking kids to the zoo or like doing different activities and stuff. So it kind of feels like you still have a life even though you're working. But then being in school and stuff, I usually only worked part-time, and my schedule was a little bit more flexible in the sense of like I didn't have to do things between this hour and this hour except for classes. But I was kind of nervous that this was going to be a lot, like that I wasn't going to have a ton of time. I have been doing 95% of my work remotely up until this point. So I think that helps so much, because my office is one of the offices is like a half hour to 45 minutes away, and then the other office is like an hour and a half to 2 hours away. So if I had to go into the office every day, or even like a few times a week, I feel like that would really decrease my like self-care time. But so far it's been really nice being able to like clock out at like 4:30 usually. I start at like 9 and end at like 4:30 depending on the day. And I don't know, like then I have time to like cook dinner. I used to have night classes, so everything needed to be done by like 7 because that's when my classes started. And now I just don't have that. And so I've had a lot more time to just kind of relax and do a lot more reading, which I very much enjoy. Another thing that I've noticed is just the ability to like actually disconnect, which is something that I am fortunate that my company really promotes that. Like on weekends or when you go on vacation or whatever, they are very adamant about like, nope, don't bring your phone, don't check your phone, like everything's okay, we'll figure it out. And so I actually feel like I'm able to just not like have a day or two on the weekends where I just like don't actually have to worry about work-related things, which I would say is very different from school, because with school it's like you constantly have homework due. They don't care if it's the weekend, like they'll assign 100 assignments for you to do in 2 days, like it does not matter. And also I feel like a lot of professors have this like mentality of, we don't care if you need a break, you have to like respond to me 24/7, which is funny because they don't do the same thing. Another big plus is obviously like I'm getting paid now. During internship, I didn't get paid, so I was doing a lot of work for free, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is when you're going through school and you know you have a ton of other expenses. So yeah, getting paid now is definitely a perk. I would say the biggest struggle for me thus far is kind of dealing with feelings of like inadequacy. I don't know if that's exactly the right word, but sometimes I just kind of feel like I don't know if I'm doing this good enough. And those are all things that like I'm putting on myself. I don't necessarily feel that from like my coworkers or my supervisor or anything like that. I think that's just like something that I've always dealt with, of like never kind of feeling good enough or just feeling unprepared. I have gotten to like ease into the job pretty well. Like it wasn't like things were just kind of thrown at me. So I'd say that is very helpful, but it's like when I look at the to-do list of things that I need to get done, I feel like for some people it's just like, oh, that's easy, check it off the list. Where for me, I'm thinking of every possible scenario that could go wrong. And because I feel like a lot of this falls on me. I mean, this is my entire job. It's like, if something about this goes wrong, then I didn't do my job right. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, those are things I think I'm always gonna struggle with no matter what it is, but that's definitely been hard for me. Another thing is just setting a routine in my life, like learning how to go back to a typical like 9 to 5 life, I guess, because before it was like I had classes and then obviously an internship I did see clients at like specific times, but other than that, like my entire day was open in the sense of like whatever I needed. Like if I needed to work out in the morning because I had meetings all afternoon, or if I had to, you know, do the opposite, like I have stuff in the morning so I'm gonna save my workout for later, or just like making dinner, lunch, all of like just normal tasks like doing laundry and stuff. It was hard for me to, I guess, like go back to that schedule of like, okay, from this time to this time you have to be working, and then when are these other things gonna get done? And then there's also just the challenge of learning how to do new things and how everything works. I know it's helpful for me that I stayed at the company because I don't like, it scares me to do like things that are completely new, which I know that I should like push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit and like be more okay with that. And I know that that's something that I'll definitely need to do. I've already done since being in this position. Another thing that I've talked to my therapist a lot about, which isn't necessarily specific to this job, it's just like a feeling that I've been having, is kind of, I don't even know how to explain it, but just like, this is it. Like, this is just life now, because I never took like a gap year between school or anything like that. So for me, it's always just been like school, school, school for, you know, over 20 years now. And sure, you have like summers or school breaks, but it's always like with the intention of like, okay, after this is over, I'm going back into the school. Now I don't know, like it still just feels like I'm waiting for something, and it's like, no, this is just life now. And it's not like a bad thing, but I think that it's like a scary feeling for me. I know when I talk about YouTube, you guys have probably heard me talk about how like I quit things pretty quickly and whatever, and that's kind of always how hobbies have been for me, is like I never stay with them very long. And I don't know, like that's how I felt about school, was just like, I mean, I stayed with it for a long time, but it was always changing, right? Like, okay, now we're moving on to like these new classes or these new classes, and I don't know, like I just find myself constantly wondering like what's next and not living in the present, which is something I definitely need to work on. But I honestly really do like my position so far. I really like my supervisor and the people that I work with and just the company and what it stands for. I think I'm very grateful that I was able to find this place for an internship and that I was able to stay on and even just be, I think that this position is very well fit for me as opposed to doing full-time therapy. So as of now, I plan to apply for licensure soon. I'm trying to get all my paperwork together. It's so long. Like the application is, I almost feel like the application is like more intense than the actual exam will be. Once I get all that together and take the exam and hopefully pass, that I guess that will be like the first next step. And then after that, I think I will probably stay at this company for as long as it fits for me. The plan is to still get independently licensed, so I don't know how much you know about psychology licensure or if you've watched my past videos, but at least in the state of Illinois, you have to take like one test, get licensed as like an associate basically, and then you still need to have a supervisor all of that time for 3,000 hours. So you have to work for 3,000 hours before you could take another exam to become like independently licensed. So that's still my plan, is to get that, but we'll see where life takes me. I think, as I said, I guess my main goal would be really to just like focus on the present, focus on the now, and not be afraid to take opportunities when they present themselves. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update, and for those of you who are in school right now and struggling, just to tell you, like, it does get better for sure, and there are good, genuine companies out there who care not only about like the people that they're helping, but like you as an employee as well. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of hope for the future. And if you guys have any like questions or things that you'd want to know about like anything psychology related or school related, licensure, my job, anything like that, please put them in the comments below and I'll either answer them or film another video talking about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see future videos, please hit that subscribe button below. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.